Good morning, class 7, and a warm welcome back. So first and foremost, as I said, wishing everyone a happy Valentine's Day. And I hope that we all, because you all are very dear to me and I love you all. I wish the best to you all in your life. I wish you good health and happiness. So let us all spread good vibes, friendship, unity in future as well. Now, along with that, we are towards the end of the tests. So firstly, as you know, on Friday, it was Parashikhala. So there is a huge change in your timetables and the way we are working in this last 1 month that we are left. So what I'll do is, today I was supposed to take your combined MCQ test, like for class 8s they are having. So like a block test, full Mughal Empire. So what I will do for you all is, since I did not get a chance to discuss if you had any problems with the practice question and the decline of the Mughal Empire, I postponed the test. First, I postponed it to next Monday. Then I recalled next Monday is the mother's birthday. So then it is getting too late. Okay, if I miss next Monday also. So what I will do is Friday, you are supposed to have your classes from 12. Now Friday from 11 onwards, 11 to 3 p.m. full stretch, I'll keep the test open. Whenever whoever is getting back home, even in between class or after 1:40, you can sit and solve it. Is the timing all right? I'm giving good enough time for you all?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Yes. Short.
Yes, ma'am. And what about orals?
Yes.
Ma'am, when is our session?
Friday. So instead of Friday, I've shifted it to Friday. I was thinking about taking it next Monday, but then next Monday is the mother's birthday. It's 21st February. You will not have class. And if I keep it to the Monday after that, it will be too late. Okay, so I don't want to keep it till that. And I have to take the orals also, or we will do orals and class discussions also. Hence, what I'm going to do is Friday, you give this MCQ test. After this, whatever classes we have, everyone will join and jointly I can ask questions to, I'll ask few questions to all of you. It will be like a group discussion. So the orals will follow. Okay, so everyone has to come and I will mark you out of 10 in the orals. I can ask, same question can go to 2-3 people. I can listen to your answer framing. The topic remains the same, entire Mughal Empire. So I'll ask you questions after this, the 2-3 classes that you have. All right. Now, coming to, yes. Shaurya, what do you have to say?
Is has ma'am please tell my only
Ma'am, are we having any annual?
No annual for class 7. No annual, any other annual for class 7. Yes. Rishabh. Yes, Rishabh. I cannot hear you. Rishabh, are you saying something? You are muted. Okay, I think.
Yes, ma'am is back.
Yes, hopefully the recording will not get corrupt. Yes, so I was asking Rishabh, yes, what were you saying?
No, ma'am. I was just asking whether you have frozen for everyone, but or whether I was experiencing network issues or not.
No. Even I was facing network issues. So this is all clear. So this Friday, I'm going to keep the test open and I'm going to send you a mail. There'll be no live class like this since you are coming back from the field. So you can give the test anytime you want between 11 and 3. After that, you next week onwards, after Monday, we will continue with the orals. Okay. Now, coming to the last part of the Mughal Empire. So we were discussing Aurangzeb. Do you remember? When is our session going to end, Shrirup? Session is going to end tentatively in the 3rd week of March. 3rd week of March, you will get your report cards. and accordingly, your session will come to an end. So till March beginning, you have classes. March 15th, you have definitely got classes. Okay, after that, the school will only inform you. And when do we have our orals? No, orals were not today. Orals will follow. Okay, just hold on a minute. Yes, ready? So how many of you have read Aurangzeb part? Did you find it difficult?
More like fun.
Okay, it was a good part. So we have already discussed what was happening during Aurangzeb's time. So the first thing, if I ask you that what changes can you think is again coming over? So what are the changes? Firstly, what will you say?
He increased tax level by non-Muslims.
Okay, so non-Muslims are once again paying the tax. So what is happening? That is the disunity between the Hindus and the Muslims is once again rising. Before this, they were united under Akbar. They united as a kingdom. Remember this. But now, due to the policies of Aurangzeb, it is once again, becoming divided. India is not maintaining unity. So Hindus and Muslims are getting divided. There is problems. The Mughal Empire is having problems on all sides. On one side, they are having problems with the Rajputs. Another side, they are having problems with the Sikh. Another side, they are having problem with the Marathas. Marathas under whom?
Shivaji.
Absolutely. Veer Shivaji. Shivaji Raje, they say Chhatrapati Shivaji, more commonly known as Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So you will see, so all these powers are now fighting against the Mughals and they are not with them. But the Mughals were the main power in the central. So what is happening? Disunity in India is increasing. Next, second thing, what do we see? Change in India scenario. The second major change that starts coming in is now, because of the disunity between the several groups in India, the Europeans are gaining power. They are setting up their own trading centers and to make the trade flourishing. Okay, the kings are giving power to the Europeans without thinking. It was during this time that many European companies, the trading centers, they got free trading rights. That, okay, you trade from here and you need not pay the tax to the government. You can pay very little tax to the government and you can continue trading. This was, trading rights to the East India Company was given. And you can say, hence, the Europeans are slowly taking charge. They can see the disunity that is prevailing everywhere. So this was another change in scenario that is taking place. More and more Europeans are coming to India for trading presently. So Aurangzeb was a ruler whom I said his rule had good sides and a few bad sides. Definitely the good, if I ask the good things about Aurangzeb as a ruler, yes, he was, in a way, he was capable as a soldier. He was a good, capable soldier. Under his reign only, the Mughal Empire was the largest. It reached the largest point under him. After that, the empire kept on declining. After that, the empire kept on declining. Ma'am, did you know that Tanhaji, the unsung warrior, is a true story about the Marathas and the Mughals? Absolutely. Tanhaji, then about Baji Rao. These are all.
You can watch
Bajira the first.
Very true stories.
There was a movie on Tana.
Tanhad.
If you ever, even Baji Rao means, don't think about Baji Rao Mastani.
Yes,
That
I
is
saw
completely that, but Baji Rao was, he was
Bajirao is the
Peshwa. And if you go to Pune, you will find his home, that is Shanivar Vada. And do you know Shaniwar Wada is considered to be one of the most haunted places in India? If you ever do a research on that, you will find it out. It is one.
I will go to the place.
Ma'am, what is the place, name of the place?
Ma'am, can you write in chat?
Why do I need to write it?
Ma'am, what is spelling?
Ma'am, what is the name of the place? Ma'am, what is the name of the place?
Bajirau's home name is Shaniwar Wada. Shaniwar Wada Fort, it is in Pune. Shaniwar Wada Fort, it is in Pune. It is a tourist destination in Pune, and it is one of the most haunted places in India. You know, there is a story, but that I'll not tell you now. Later on, I'll tell you why the place became haunted. So one of Bajirau's grandsons, he was killed in that fort, and it is said that his screams can still be heard at night. So there are stories like this about the fort. So you will see that.
You were killed now. Ma'am, who was killed? Ma'am, you were killed now.
Ma'am, please tell now. Please tell now.
Bajirau's grandsons. Oh, I have seen it from long distance. So I'm very good. So if you ever visit India, this is a good tourist destination. You can always go.
Ma'am, I have visited it. Ma'am,
I haven't visited it yet. I haven't visited it yet. Anyway,
It's a good destination to drink tea with ghosts.
No. If you visit, you can always, many people visit it. Visit it in the morning. Okay, morning and come out before the evening. So
I was giving disclaimer. Good morning, don't you at night.
Don't go and think about camping there at night. Okay, so
Unless I'm a YouTube vlogger.
no, nothing. Even if you are a YouTube blogger, come out. Okay, that's because we want to see your YouTube vlogs.
Is it illegal? I mean, to actually stay there at night. Is it illegal to stay there at night?
I think so. Of course, it has a timing.
Yes, ma'am, it is illegal.
It has a visiting timing for tourists. So you have to
Narayan Rao was killed.
within that time.
Narayan Rao was killed. Narayan Rao.
Okay, you go
Narayan
do your
Rao.
research. Why is that?
I tell the story later.
As I was saying, so these people and these stories are absolutely real. And these Maratha rulers, these Maratha warriors, I should say, the ruler was the Chhatrapati, the king. So, and under the ruler, there were Peshwas, who used to manage different parts of the kingdom. So these Peshwas, like Tanhaji, like Bajirao, these are real things, and they have fought for their motherland very, very dedicatedly. Now coming to Aurangzeb once again. So what we learned, as I was discussing, disunity spread between the Hindus and the Muslims. There were different powers on different sides that were not happy with the Mughal rule, and these powers were fighting. Okay, and they were resisting the Mughals. So there was, each one was trying to be more powerful. This opportunity was taken up by the Europeans, and the opportunity taken up by them, what they did was they started spreading their trading centers, increasing their trading centers. More and more Europeans came to India, and now they were evading tax. They were earning high profit. Whatever they were taking from India, they were selling it at high price in the foreign international market, and they were getting good prices for that. So they saw that if they could rule this land, there was a good opportunity to become rich. Hence, we can see the seeds of colonization. The seed, what is colonization? When a different, when people of a different region or a nation comes and occupies and sets up their own base in some other country, that is called colonization. Like Europeans colonized Africa, many parts of Africa, Europeans colonized India. So people of a different country coming and setting up their own base, their own centers, their own, things in a different country. That is called colonization. So you will read about this in class 8. So we will continue. This will be continued in class 8. So you see, children, these things started happening. The seeds of these things were laid down during Aurangzeb's reign. But yes, of course, Aurangzeb did have some good points. Now, many people say that it was very bad of Aurangzeb to take Shah Jahan as a prisoner. But do you really know that Aurangzeb saw that his father was misusing the money of the royal treasury? Aurangzeb saw that his father was, the royal treasury. Where is the money coming in the royal treasury? It is the tax that the people are paying. Suppose we people are paying the tax, and what do we want? We want electricity, we want good roads. Instead of that, if things are being spent on building some statue, building a garden, and not solving the problems of the people, that is not a right thing to do. That is not a right thing to do. So actually, Shah Jahan was a big lover of cultural glory and everything. So he was spending the royal money into building palaces, building gardens, while the people were still facing problems. Aurangzeb as a ruler never did that. That was one good side of him. If you ever visit Aurangabad, Aurangabad is where Aurangzeb's tomb is. It is again in Maharashtra. So you will see in Aurangabad, his tomb is a very small tomb. He does not have a very big tomb, okay, and he never built an elaborate tomb for himself. And people there say that he used to sew caps that the Muslims wear while praying and sell it, and with that, whatever money they get, he used to feed his family with that money. So that was how he was as a ruler. He never misused the money of the royal treasury for his own pleasures. That is another good side of him. But he failed to manage the huge empire that he had built. And what he did was, in the south, since Aurangzeb and Shivaji were very fierce enemies, so his focus was a lot on defeating the Marathas. Okay, so he left Delhi unprotected and moved to the Deccan and built a base in the Deccan and started managing things from there. Now Delhi remained unprotected. Delhi was unprotected. Delhi was, open to attacks from outside. Aurangzeb lived for a long time, and in his old age, almost in his 90s, he died a natural death. But Aurangzeb's death marked the end of the glorious period of the Mughal Empire, because after his death, none of the rulers were capable enough to manage the vast kingdom that the Mughal Empire had become. The Mughal Empire had actually reached, the peak of its vastness. Yes.
You said Aurangzeb died of natural ways. So does natural ways include death by old age?
Yeah, natural ways means old age, sickness, when you are not in a war, not in any accident. He was not killed or murdered. Means it's not that his enemies could defeat him and he was captured and killed, not like that. So when we say that, suppose somebody dies in an accident like Sher Shah, that's an unnatural death. You will never say that Sher Shah died in a normal way in his old age. So old age or due to sickness or something like that. Yes.
Did Aurangzeb have any disease or any kind of illness?
Yes, old age sicknesses. Old age, he had lots of, he lived for a long time. He managed his empire for a long time, but then after, when he turned old, he was no more capable and he died. But the point is, he realized when he was very old that none of his heirs were good enough to manage such a huge kingdom. And already difference and disunity between his heirs has started. Means, his successors were already fighting for who will take up the throne next. So let us go through some reasons for the decline of the Mughal Empire. Firstly, we already see that Aurangzeb's wrong policies and his policies that created disunity and not promote unity. Hence, we can say the Europeans could later on take advantage of this situation. The seeds of disunity that was sown now, it resulted in, actually people say this, historians believe this, that the seeds of disunity that was sown now, it somewhere remained down in our hearts. And even after many years, when the same thing was, told to the Indians, this resulted in the partition of our country. So, we never looked beyond religion to the fact that we all are human beings. We may follow different paths to reach God, but ultimately, our goal is the same. We should be united. So this is something, all this disunity that was there, it continues somewhere down in the minds of the people. And after 200 years, when the British, they tried to divide India, they could do so easily. A partition of our country took place. These are things. So that is one thing. Another thing was, now since the rulers were no more capable after Aurangzeb, the nobles were becoming more and more powerful. The nobles were slowly gaining power one by one, and each noble, they were supporting someone. You will find they were ganging up. Some were supporting one person, some were supporting one person. Actually, the problem here was, the main thing was, if you really see, the Mughals never had a clear, distinct rule of succession. Like Hindus, they had a clear rule that the eldest son will become the next ruler. But for the Muslims, or in the Mughals, there was no such rule. They never had a fixed rule as to who should be the next king. So there was always a fight between the successors or the candidates for the throne. Everybody was more looking into power and not staying united as a family. So that was something. Yes, Aryaman?
That was because in the Mughals, the king would divide the land and give it to his sons.
The king would divide the land and make them, subedars and mansabdars, all this. But if you really see, yes, who will be the next king? Everybody wanted to get that power. There was no fixed rule as to who should be the next king. Like in Hinduism, there was a rule that the eldest son will become the king. Now, like Ashoka, he defeated his elder brother and then took over the throne, but you have to defeat the eldest to do so. Here, everybody was fighting with everyone. Okay, that was one more thing. Yes, Soham?
For all.
Yes, so ma'am, I would just wanted to say that Aurangzeb didn't have really great tool like his predecessors, because he thought that there will be a lot of instability in the Mughal Empire if everybody knows of his death, and everybody will start fighting for successors. And
but the reason is also this, because he never wanted to spend any money from the royal treasury for his own self. He wanted to build whatever he could with his own money, that he has earned, not with the tax paid by the peasants and the farmers and people of his kingdom. So that is also another. He has a very simple tomb. That is why if you visit Aurangabad, you will find Aurangzeb's tomb, and you will find his wife. This is very famous. It is known as the mini Taj Mahal. It is known by the name of Bibi Ka Maqbara. Bibi Ka Maqbara, if you visit, so these places are in Aurangabad in Maharashtra. So these are excellent tourist spots. It's beautiful. It's a mini Taj Mahal. You'll find it's like a small one. So none of them are as grand as his father. He never spent the royal money on these things. So that was another reason. So, there only I visited these places. So in Aurangabad, when I visited, so the people were saying this, that he himself was very true to the fact that the royal money should be spent on the welfare of the kingdom, unlike his father. So that was one of his plus points.
That's a big positive point about him.
That is a big positive point about him.
And Aryaman is so lucky. He is in Mumbai. He can visit Chhatrapati Shivaji's museum.
He can always do so. He can
Yeah.
always do so.
Navi Mumbai. Is it in Navi Mumbai?
Navi
Navi
Mumbai, no. Chhatrapati Shivaji Museum's location, you know, I'll have to see what is the exact location. But you can always visit.
I just say something.
Yes, Aryaman.
I think the war of succession during those times must have been like ancient time Call of Duty.
Ancient times?
Call of Duty
of
is
Duty.
a game.
Ma'am, Call of Duty is a game, mobile game.
Where everyone attacks everyone.
Oh, everyone attacks. In a way, true. In a way, true. Okay, Prisha, your question was, how did Babur die? Babur died in an accidental fall. You know, Babur, Dr. Humayun died in an accidental fall. Babur's story, he died out of sickness. So I was telling you this story long time ago that, you know, there's a story like this, that when Humayun, there was one time when Humayun fell very ill, and Babur prayed that if you grant my son his life, and doctors had given up all hope, saying that he will not survive, but Humayun said that, Babur prayed and said that if you grant my son his life, you give his sickness to me, and you can take away my life, and you can give his sickness to me and bless him with a long life. And it is a miracle that people say that he slowly fell ill, that is Babur slowly fell ill while Humayun recovered. So this is a story, but the fact is he died of illness. Okay, so again, ill health. He couldn't rule for long. He ruled for a very short span of time. So firstly, what were the points? 1 minute. Let me revise. So one I told you, first is the policies that were adopted by Aurangzeb. They created disunity, and those policies were continued. Nobody wanted to change them and bring about unity. Next thing that you can always say is, there was no clear rule of succession. So the successors were always fighting with each other to get the throne and power instead of uniting as a family and a team. Thirdly, the negative role played by the nobles. The nobles were, some nobles were supporting someone, some nobles were supporting someone. They were becoming more powerful. They all wanted puppet rulers in their hands. So the nobles were ganging up. Yes, the nobles were ganging up, which actually caused, which actually caused a lot of political problems in the empire. Next, one more very important thing that was another big reason for the Mughal Empire's decline was the fact that, why Babur won the first battle of Panipat? Because he used guns and cannons, new technology, new artillery, which was unknown to the Lodi army. They did not know of these modern things. Now you will see the Europeans, they bring in new rifles, better guns, modern guns, and their army is very well organized. They are very good leaders, very well organized army, new war equipments, better navy, better ships, and all long distance journeys. But the Mughals, they failed to upgrade themselves with time. Where they should have spent the money on upgrading themselves, on making better, better equipments, on making better, buying better weapons and all, but they did not do so. So that too resulted in the decline of the Mughal Empire, because the Europeans now had the advantage which the Mughals once had against the Lodis. The Europeans had better guns, rifles. They brought in, new rifles with which, from a long distance, the rifles and all brought by them, they were much advanced of their time. Okay, so easily they could defeat the Mughals. And definitely There were issues related to taxation. So by the time it was time for, it was the time of 1857. By the time it was 1857, the Mughal Empire was just Delhi, what we call as Shah Jahanabad or Purani Delhi. Only that area was the Mughal Empire. It broke, and only a little part. So Bahadur Shah was there, and the Indians, they decided that they wanted Bahadur Shah to be the leader of their revolt. So they planned the revolt of 1857, but the British, with their unity, their advanced system, what they did was they were able to end the revolt by killing or making the people who wanted to revolt run away from the kingdom. And Bahadur Shah, whom the Indians had selected as their leader, he was executed. His children were killed and they were exiled, and that marked the end of the great Mughal Empire. Aurangzeb was just like my father. Never going to spend money on nonsense stuff. Okay, who is this one? You have sent it so many times. My goodness, 60 times the same message. Why?
My father
Hiru. Okay, but then that's a good thing.
Ma'am,
Yes, Shriyank, you have anything to share?
my father doesn't spend things
Ma'am,
on
I had two questions, but I see now there is only less
Yes,
than
yes,
1
tell.
minute.
You can tell me if I can get back to you also.
Yes, my first question is that the another point of why the Mughal empires declined, can it be that because the amount of soldiers of the English company is more than the Mughal empires, which is an advantage to them?
It is not only about more or less. That is what I said. Upgrading was very important. Recruiting good soldiers, managing the soldiers very well. The leaders, the rulers were incapable. Hence, the army became weak. There were no good soldiers and good leaders.